a phone call about 10 times in one day, and I'm not being extreme here, to follow up with us. So I'm one of the biggest advocates of follow-up. We had a scenario in the business recently where a candidate had applied for a position to work for one of our clients. It was for a chief financial officer position, actually, in Germany. And that person proceeded to follow up with us, which I'm always encourage. But this went a little bit too far. And this is why I wanted to share this video. So what I'll tell you about what this person did, and I'll tell you exactly what you should be doing. So what they did was they followed up with us and said, look, thanks a lot for taking the time to talk to us. Very keen to progress, blah, 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 blah. Good. Then sent us an email half an hour later asking about progress. Then sent us an email about an hour later than that, asking if they were still in the process, and then proceeded to phone call about 10 times in one day, and I'm not being extreme here, to follow up with us. Then sent us emails all the way through the night, and then followed up the next day, then told us that they weren't interested in the job anymore throughout the night, and then asked us where they were again. So I appreciate people are going through different scenarios and different situations, and this is probably an extreme version of somebody being in possibly a more desperate situation in order to find a new position, try to use fear of loss on us and all sorts of different aspects. And I get that. Everyone's in a different scenario. But this is from a learning perspective as opposed to judge that individual, take action, all about that, and good follow-up. So first thing to do is once you've had, let's focus very much on when you're actually meeting with the hiring manager or the actual company directly. Once you've had that meeting, I would then follow up with an email, and I would use some of the points that you've discussed in that meeting, demonstrating that you've listened and you've taken action, and follow up with a little bit in there. So just the usual, thank you for your time, thank you for speaking with me, meeting with me, whatever it was, over the phone or in person. And just following up on that is absolutely critical. And then if they posed any questions, any challenges, any areas that you did not cover off well enough, I would then try and rehash over them and follow up with that. So once you've written that email and you've sent it, when's a good time next to follow up? So let's say you had your meeting on Friday last week. We're now on Wednesday. You sent your email over the weekend. I'd probably be looking to follow up Thursday, Friday with another email, potentially one call to see where the process is going. If you're using a recruiter, by all means, follow them up more, and we encourage people to reach out, not quite as much as the individual did previously, but again, different circumstances. We encourage people to speak to us more. But we've got to think about their time and what they're doing with regards to a partner, managing partner within a fund or within a portfolio senior executive, the CEO, most likely. So what I do is one email straight over to the client once you finish that meeting, and then follow up a week from there to try and do it, unless you agreed some kind of different timescales from that perspective with regards to next steps. Don't be following up and asking for next steps if you've already got that agreed, but definitely an email thanking them for their time. Shows professionalism and is a really great way of positioning yourself slightly differently from other candidates. So that's absolutely how to follow up, and I wish you all the best with your interviews.